Welcome to week 1 of the Comeback Code. This week, we're going to talk all about perspective and how it changes everything about your rehab. The reason we want to go into this is because when we get injured, a big transition just took place and you probably weren't expecting it. It's out of nowhere. And this disrupts a lot of things, such as your routines, the plans you have, and you can feel a little bit off balance. And this really just throws you off your game of what's going on. So the way that you view it and interpret it plays a massive role in how this recovery is going to go. A recovery isn't just healing physically. It's also important to understand the emotions and the mental toll it takes on you while you're coming back. Someone else can have the exact same injury as you, and you might interpret it completely different, and the outcomes be completely different. And that's why it's important for yourself to understand how you personally are interpreting this injury and recovery process. That is why it's important when this feels unfamiliar and kind of scary at chance to understand how you're interpreting it and go through some key areas to focus on. First one being what has changed. As we said, a lot has shifted during this time. You might not be as mobile as you can. You might not be as independent as you want to be. And this just changes a lot of what's happening. So we want to be able to understand what that is, because when we can identify what's changed, we can then make a plan of how to overcome it and keep moving forward. Next, we want to look at the why for coming back. We want to give it purpose. We want to give it meaning. And it's deeper than just going and saying, I want to get healthy again. We want to understand why you want to do that, because that helps with your motivation as well as your constant commitment, because this might be a long journey. And during a long journey, there will be ebbs and flows. But if you're able to attach it to a deeper purpose, such as getting back to a team, being able to be active with friends and family again, the deeper and more committed you will be throughout this rehab process. And then next, we want to go and look at your support system. During this time, we really want you to go and understand who that support system is. It can feel isolating when being injured. You might be away from a team, not being able to see or hang out with friends as much. So it's really important to go and understand who the support system is, to have a quick chat with them or constantly catch up, because it is going to be different. By having that social support, it can help you feel more connected with the people that you're close with. And lastly, you want to make the most of your free time. As you're injured, you're going to have a lot more downtime because you can't do as much or what you used to be able to do. So we want to maximize this time. Often during an injury process and a recovery process, people go and they think about what's been taken away, what you've lost in the situation. But we want to make this an opportunity of what you've gained. You have all this free time, so you want to utilize it in an effective and proper way by potentially exploring hobbies you didn't have time before, or learning a new skill or interest that you've always put off because you just didn't have the time to do it. Now you have the time to do this. So optimize this time to help optimize your recovery. You now have the tools and understanding of what it takes to have a proper perspective, but an understanding is not enough. You need to actually apply it. The more you can invest in yourself in this rehab, the more it's going to go and be beneficial for you. So without this worksheet, go into detail. We want to look at what brings you joy and see how that changes. We want to see what your daily routines and what you'll miss. By understanding it, you can plan for it. We also want to look at that big why question, right? Why do you want to return to full health? Go into depth with this. We then also want to see what changes. Once again, identify and plan for how it's going to change. Once we have a plan for it, it can make it more calming. Then we want to go list out those people, those groups, those communities that are going to be in your corner. We want you to stay socially connected with people throughout this process. And then go into those skills and things that you want to learn, right? So a skill that you want to learn and also a hobby that you want to pick up. And also talk about how you will do this, not just what you want to do, but how you plan to achieve it. By having a plan, it will be more likely to happen. Don't let your progress slow down. Tune in next week as we tackle the mental slumps that might go on during your rehab process. If you're ready to get to work, contact me directly to receive a free consultation. I'm here to support you through your motivation for a full comeback. See you next week for week 2.